posture and stress. Hi, I'm William Fuller, certified massage therapist and wellness educator and founder of Vision Body Mind. And today we're going to be looking at sitting posture and stress. Now, obviously, this is something that I can go into great depth and detail on, but I'm just going to give you a very quick couple of minute broad understanding of what's going on there as far as sitting posture and stress is concerned, and how that could be contributing to any kind of pain that you're working on. Now, put simply, if we think about stress, it's an impact. We're responding to a stimulus that's triggering the fight or flight response. Okay, now in the nature that was very beneficial and successful. If there was a lion all of a sudden, then you needed to be nice and big and strong, or just like a cat kind of comes up big. I never really know what to do if you're seeing a bear, whether you're meant to run away or whether you're meant to freeze. I think the idea is to make a big loud noise. But anyway, digressing. Thinking about that activation, that fight or flight response, it used to be very beneficial as far as hunting and gathering is concerned. But now this stress response is kicking in if we're sitting in front of the computer screen. All of a sudden an email comes through and one of your colleagues says, oh, actually, we've moved the deadline up 2 hours, or oh, actually, this isn't what's going on. Actually, it's all about this, and you've just spent a whole week working on a particular project in a particular line of life. Or it could be personal stress. For example, you get an email from your spouse or friend or partner. So there's this stimulus that's happening before the blood would rush to the muscle so that we could do a fight or flight response and get out of there, either fight what's going on or run away. Now exactly the same response is happening, but it's happening whilst we're sitting there in front of our computer screen. So we're getting that same kind of tense response. And my argument is that stress isn't a bad thing. It's just part of life. That's what's going to happen. The difference is how do we actually respond to that stress? So what we want to start looking into is when we're sitting in this posture, the problem is that we're getting generally fatigued throughout the day. We start to get more and more of this kind of C shape that we're all very familiar with, unfortunately. But now imagine that you're in this kind of hunched position. Now imagine if you're stressed and you tense. Now that you're tensing and rounding, kind of like what a boxer is like, ironically. But in fact, this is something that we're doing on a day-to-day basis, and it can be real low level. Once we get stuck in this pattern, it can be very hard to change. So my goal for you is the next 24, 48 hours, whilst you're sitting, see if there's certain patterns that you're doing that you're tensing up in that situation as a stress response. I talked about this in another video where we talk about tension posture and stress. But what we're looking at here is how can we interrupt these tension patterns that we're establishing when we are stressed. Now, I'm sure I'll do this in a later video, but you could imagine we can only sustain the fight or flight response for so long, and then we kind of get this fatigue positioning. Notice how this kind of fatigue and tension is a very similar pattern that we're establishing. So what you're going to want to be looking is interrupting that pattern so that when we're stressed, it's more of a solution-based thinking is one example, but two is to be extra aware of what's going on physically with our body when these stress response kicking in. So one thing you can do is simply just set a reminder on your phone to go off just once a day. When that happens, you could also do it at a particular time that you know you're going to be stressful. For most people, that's around 3 in the afternoon, when fatigue starts to kick in. And then what's going to happen, the alarm's going to go off, it's going to cue you in to check your posture while you're sitting, and you're going to see if you're in this kind of hunched position or neck coming forward. So the problem that's a little bit extra with the sitting is that you are already in this rounding position. Okay, great. We'll give that a go over the next couple of days. If you haven't checked it out already, make sure you head over to visionbodymind.com, where you can check out a free 5-day posture challenge. And the goal of that challenge is to help improve your awareness a little bit more. That's actually focusing on the head positioning. And that's going to be very important for those of you that are sitting for long hours during the day, because as our head starts to go forward, that's where the rest of us comes forward. And this is what we're talking about, this familiar stress pattern through the chest and through the neck. So check that out for sure. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel by clicking below. Feel free to like or share this information on Facebook or your social media outlet. And good luck over the next 24, 48 hours, keeping an eye on that. And here's to living a healthy, active, happy life.